Does anybody need recording permissions still? Everybody good? All right, you can raise your hand to ask questions. Start with Natalie.
Hey guys, hope you're well. For both of you guys, really, what's the excitement level to kind of get things started this season? And does it kind of feel like you guys are picking up where you left off just a little bit, with the whole returning roster pretty much?
Yeah, I can go. The excitement level is at an all-time high right now, especially practicing indoors for the whole month of January, now the first week of February. So we're ready to get going, stop playing each other. And so right now the excitement is just to get on the field, get on some dirt, and get back to playing softball because we still have that feeling from last year.
Chris.
Yeah, for either of you guys, I know you just kind of mentioned the feeling of that, and what is the mentality that you're going into the season with? It is it not unfinished business, or what is the feeling that between the two of you and the team that you guys have going into the season? What's the biggest motivating factor?
I think just knowing that how close we did make it to like the College World Series last year is a big motivating factor for all of us because we know what it feels like to be there and how much of a heartbreak we did have last year. So I think all of us really do want to get back to where we were and go even farther. And because of that, that is a big motivating factor for a lot of us on the team.
Natalie.
Brooke, I'm curious, obviously you guys have this entire returning roster, but as far as the newcomers, maybe underclassmen, is there someone that's kind of stuck out to you? Maybe the work ethic, someone who's kind of shown in the offseason a little bit?
I don't think there's one specific person. I just think the whole group of freshmen and sophomores have really come and brought their A game all year long. There's some of the hardest workers that I've seen when they've come in, and they do everything that coach asks of them. They take everything in like sponges, and they push all of us upperclassmen to be better than we are right now. So I'm not going to say like one specific person because I think just all of them have done such a great job.
Max.
Brooke, I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like but when you came to Mizzou, you never played outfield before, and I guess what do you remember most about that conversation with coach about plugging you in outfield? And did you just want to play? What sort of went into that?
That's actually a very funny story because she's also involved in this. So we were at Alabama our sophomore year, and she came up to me and Kendyll and said, "Look, I want both of you guys in the lineup, but both of you can't play second base." I came in as a middle infielder, so I'd pretty much played the entire infield. And then we were talking about it, and she's like, "Brooke, would you feel comfortable going to the outfield?" I'm like, "Sure. I mean, how hard can it be, right?" And she's like, "All right, we're going to do a few practices and then possibly put you out there. We don't really know yet." And then the next day, third game of the series against Alabama, she puts me out there in right field. Never played outfield a game in my life. And I swear every single ball was hit to me. I just found it so funny. But I think it really did work out for the best. I've kind of found my home out there, and I've been out there for a while, and Kenny's found her home at second. So it's been really nice to have that good transition between the two.
Max, do you have a second question?
I mean, yeah, if you don't mind, I guess also, Brooke, I think you started your career at Mizzou in like a little bit of a struggle. I guess how did you sort of I guess bounce back from that and just sort of become the hitter you are today? I know every freshman sort of has their struggles, but you sort of came along very quickly after that.
An 0 for 14 struggle to start the season was quite rough. But honestly, I just think I can't attribute it to one thing. It was that transition into college that really stumped me for a little bit. But then after that, I just kind of got into a rhythm with it. And then I guess just through the years, I've just kind of kept that rhythm and known what I can do as a hitter and what I can do as a player.
Chris.
Yeah, as a team last year, you guys led the SEC in runs scored and a bunch of other offensive categories. As kind of two key parts of that lineup, what kind of pride do you take in being such a good offensive team, and how do you carry that over into this year?
I'd say just keep the foot on the pedal with the offensive. We have the mindset and we know what it takes to be there. We're not changed just because, I mean, we have a new hitting coach this year, so Chris Malvo left, but it's not changed. We are who we are. And I'd say going into this year, we're just going to keep who we were last year and just grow off that, because you can't change who you are just to get those numbers higher. So I'd just say we're going to be the same team and keep going at it.
Natalie?
Kendyll, I'm curious, pitchers, we got to see a little bit of them in the black and gold scrimmage, Lauren and Jordan. I'm curious how you've seen them kind of grow in the offseason. Obviously had a good start last year, but, kind of younger pitchers as well.
Yeah, I think the pitchers have done a really good job. Coach has done a good job with their mentality this year. They've spent a lot of time as a pitchers group on their own and getting to know each other and writing down a lot of things in journals. And I've seen some of our pitchers grow into that maturity, because we still have a young staff compared to a lot of teams. We still don't have that fifth year, that senior even. So I can see them maturing every single live scrimmage we do, and it's really good to see, and I'm excited to see them against other people, not us.
Chris?
Brooke, going back to your transition to outfield, I was just kind of curious, was there a moment where you kind of felt like, okay, I'm settling in and I've settled into this position?
Oh gosh. So it was a little bit of a transition for me, because I had never in my life played outfield before. So at the beginning, it was a little like trying to I was treading on water. I didn't really know what to do, but I think eventually I figured out my home when she moved me to center field after our previous center fielder got hurt. And then from there, she just kind of told me, she's like, look, we need your voice in the outfield. We need that leadership. And I think when she'd said, like, I see you in center field, that's when I started getting the most comfortable, just because I knew, like, I kind of found a home. And that'd been very hard for me because I was like all over the place. But once we had that conversation, I think I really embraced that role, and I did try and keep that as a home, and it is a home now for me. So
I would say, going off that, I think our team does a really good job of just embracing their role. Brooke could have got mad at me and as a teammate or wanted to play second or whatever, but we all embraced what's the best for the team, and I think she did a really good job of it.
Max?
Yeah, Brooke, when you moved to center field, what when the balls were hit to you, did you feel, I guess, comfortable in that first game, or did you feel just sort of like not really great? What was that first game like?
That first game, I was actually in right field, and I had never been that far away from the pitcher in my life. So I guess the trajectory and like seeing the ball was kind of tough for me at the beginning. But I'll tell you a funny story. I was doing, before the game, I was having our volunteer assistant hit me fly balls, right? First three, I completely missed, dropped, not even close. And then from there, she was trying to hit it right at me. So I didn't feel as bad for not catching it. But I just found it very funny that every single ball hits the outfield was to hit to right field that day. And I mean, eventually I got the hang of it, but that first game was quite interesting.
Natalie?
For both of you guys, obviously fan support, you guys have always had a history of having great fans, right? But did it kind of feel a little bit different last year, specifically with the fans, from maybe when you first got to Mizzou, maybe some new fans getting involved, and kind of just overall feeling from the fans? Especially, you guys had a good turnout for the black and gold scrimmage too.
Yeah, I'd say just going from our freshman year till now, it's crazy how much we've grown a fan base. And then last year, it kind of didn't have the capacity at the beginning, and then it opened up and the floodgates opened, and then we had all of that support, and then us being successful and growing that support over the off season has been huge. And I don't think we can thank the fans enough, and we just want them to show up at every single game because they do matter. But it's awesome to see just growing in 5 years, the fan base of Mizzou softball over the years.
Chris?
Yeah, for either of you, just kind of curious. Obviously, with so many returners and the expectations of getting back to the College World, getting back to the opportunity to get to the College World Series, how are you handling the expectations? How are you kind of juggling that? while also knowing that you still got to go out there and play the games?
I don't really think any of us have been like, oh my gosh, like we have to exceed this expectation. I think a lot of us are still going into the season being that underdog mentality because, again, we may be ranked pretty high, but people still overlook us. And I think having that little chip on our shoulder is what is really going to take us to that next step and get us to hopefully the College World Series where we want to be.
Cole?
Yeah, so Kendyll, so we talked a little bit about the defensive positioning, especially in the outfield, but how do you feel about, obviously now you got the young gun Jenna Laird at shortstop, so how do you feel about establishing a really dominant middle infield?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think infield, having a strong infield is part of the whole defense mentality. And having Jenna step up last year is huge. Having a shortstop that's stable there and that you can count on is even bigger. But I've seen Jenna grow in the past just year of knowing her, and as a player, she has a voice now. She carries herself in a great way. Not much that a freshman of the year would carry how she'd carry herself, but having Jenna there is great for the defense as a whole, and everybody trusts her, and her growing in. She's maturing every year, so I can't wait to see her when she's a senior.
Max?
Kendyll, I guess what sort of did it mean to you, I guess, does it mean to you to have someone like Brooke who's willing to sort of go to center field so you can both play? And how has that sort of helped your relationship over the course of the last, I guess, 3-4 years now?
Yeah, I think that just scenario is one little snippet of how our team kind of works and is our team culture. A lot of people don't see the inside, and that's why we were successful last year. It's not just the talent we all have, but it's the genuine happiness and wanting each other to succeed. So like I said before, if that's what's best for the team, or if that's what coach thinks is best for the team, then we're going to do it. And if that means I get still the opportunity on the field and Brooke gets to stay on the field, then that's what we're going to do. So I think that just shows a little snippet of what our team culture is.
Natalie?
Going off, obviously Brooke was saying, it's kind of still viewed as the underdogs, you guys are saying. I'm curious what coach has said the standard is this season. Obviously, love to get back to super regionals, but, is that something you guys talk about, or really overall, what's the standard? You want me to go? Okay. Well, I guess, ever since coach came in our sophomore year, she had a picture of the World Series on the board. So that's been our goal since we've been playing, but ever since coach got here. So it's nothing new. We have the same standards as we did our sophomore year. So nothing has changed. We still want to get there. It's the same mentality as we had last year. We're not making it anything bigger than it is. We know what we have to do, and we're just going to go and try to do it.
Cole?
So Brooke, aside from yourself, you also had Hattie Moore and Jenna Laird, who were named to the All SEC preseason team. So just what does it mean for your team, and how excited are you for them to have that honor just preseason and just having that for the team?
I think the biggest thing for me is that our team is finally getting the recognition that we deserve. And those two are way more deserving of that award than I think a ton of people, just because of their hard work and their mentality and how much they put into this program. And it's so fantastic that even though we do have this underdog mentality, our team is still getting recognized because of our success last year. And we were one of 2 schools in the SEC to have 3 people on that award, or on that all SEC team. So I think it's fantastic that our team is getting these awards, and then hopefully our success this season will be able to get more as a team as well.
Any more questions? Cole?
So going in, just looking nearsighted a little bit, you got 2 big matchups with ranked teams, Virginia Tech and Liberty this weekend in Florida. How do you feel going into big games like that? What mindset does the team really have to take going into that one?
I think as a mindset, it's early, but we still play our game. We can't go in. It's the same game we've all been playing. And it's the same. If we matched them up at the end of the season. You just play our game. We can't think of they're ranked this, they're ranked that, because if you get in that mindset, then I don't know, it's not a good successful mindset. So I think going in and just coming out strong out of the gates and knowing who we are and playing our game, I think it'll be a good matchup.
Any more questions? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.